Where's the courthouse? Oh yeah, around here.
City Hall. We're gonna park the bike.
In the park, down there.
Hey,
Afternoon.
DMS.
I think I gotta go off. I'm a witnessing.
Witnessing what? What the fuck is it about?
I'm
who
speaking
has
in
married who and who's...
Do you know the whole situation?
No.
Why are you not here? Right here then. Seth
Since
married
Seth
Trey
cheated on him.
Sanders. Sanders is very depressed about it because Seth apparently cheated on him or something. So Seth also was actively trying to kill Trey for other people. Trey's filing for a divorce and taking 100% of Seth's assets.
I swear it's always the random shit that he does. Yeah. Why do you always wear the random shit?
Here we are.
No, I'm so sorry.
Buddy, I'm a witness. I got witness statements. You're all good.
You always seem like such a nice person.
Do you know your way to the courtroom? I don't.
Yeah, it's up here.
We're going to the big one or the small one?
Small one.
I can't believe we're really here.
Well, Seth always seemed to be such a nice guy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Bitch. Oh, he's a bitch. Oh my god.
I'll go
It's
to
okay. Take a seat for me, buddy.
Probably.
I'm gonna suggest, Mr. Sanders, you don't have eye contact as he comes in. I know it's gonna be emotional. I know it's gonna be tough.
No eye contact.
Yeah, I don't need to start crying or anything.
And we're over here, Seth.
Where is he? Is he here?
Stare at his eyes!
Oh god!
He didn't even recognize him. Jeez.
I still love you.
Handle that. Mr. K, do you want to go ahead and explain why your
No,
client
absolutely.
wishes to divorce?
No, absolutely. So, my client, Mr. Sanders, happily married for a very, very short period, unfortunately has become under attack by his husband, who has repeatedly tried to incite violence to end the marriage. It's been a tough road. It's been a tough time. My client has been shattered and he is upset. He is a shell of his former self. And it's all down to Mr. Brooks.
Do you have a response to that particular accusation, Mr. Wilkenstein, on behalf of your client?
Got a bit of an opening statement, if you don't mind me giving that one. Good evening, Your Honor, and people of the court. Today you're going to witness a story of deceit, lies, and fraudulent activity. Lawyer Mr. K will try to portray you a story of love, which proves to you that my client, Mr. Brooks, had no physical, emotional, or even legal obligation to Mr. Sanders. I say please take everything you hear into account today, and don't trust anyone, as being the perfect angel. Mr. K and even the witness you'll witness today, both have their part to play in this tale, and I wish to seek the truth and free my client from this emotional wreck.
Boo.
Mr. K, do you have a witness that you'd like to bring up, it sounds like?
We do. Can I call Miss Halliwell to the stand, please?
Oh, always wanted to be an actor. Where's the stand?
Over there.
Right here to my right.
Oh.
Everyone in the back here.
Officer
Miss
Halliwell,
Halliwell,
you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Nothing but the truth, Your Honor.
Why the fuck you lying?
All right, your witness.
Perfect. Miss Halliwell.
Hello.
So, I believe we had a situation. There was a group call that I believe you set up.
There was. Yes, there was.
And this was just after the wedding, no?
Objection,
Yeah,
Your
it
Honor.
was probably a week after their wedding.
On what grounds?
It's leading.
Okay. No, we'll go with that. We'll go.
You want to try and rephrase that?
I will rephrase that, Your Honor. Miss Halliwell, when did the phone call take place?
More than likely between 7 and 8 days ago, there was a phone call that took place where I set up a group call with Wolfenstein, Seth, Mr. Sanders, myself, Harry, and Jean-Claude.
Okay, and could you just please explain what was discussed on this phone call?
Oh, and Ralph Butcher.
You heard this thing going on Lauren and whatever the hell Trey's on about. Apparently Trey's married to Seth Brooks and now he's asking for a divorce and trying to claim his things, and apparently Lauren's the legal counsel.
Lauren can't spell legal counsel.
I know.
On this phone call,
Shut up, Ralph.
it was where we were congratulating them to sort out their lovers' tiff, as they were. This is when their fighting started happening. This is where Seth then also, once Mr. Sanders disconnected from the call, said he will pay anyone to take him out. Okay? As in, dead. Killed. Finitoed.
Objection, Your Honor.
On what grounds?
It's not actually relevant. There's no factual. That's them suggesting that that's what it could have been about. That's not factual.
He had another call with Mr. Butcher over there, saying
Objection,
that he would
Your Honor.
pay him some money to take him
Objection, Your Honor.
On what grounds?
Ralph isn't the witness here today. Lauren can't speak on behalf of Ralph.
I'm not speaking on behalf of Ralph. I'm just speaking what I know, and he told me to tell the truth, which I am.
Well, you just said it was
if she witnessed the conversation, she can speak upon it.
She just said it was a private call between Mr. Sanders and Mr. Ralph.
It doesn't mean no one was there.
Okay, well then Mr. Ralph called me after he had this conversation with Seth and told me about the whole situation.
Objection, Your Honor, that's hearsay.
No, it's not.
Okay, now Amber Heard's here.
My dog stepped on a bee.
If the subject matters told it to her, it's treated as fact.
And that is all that I have.
As I understand it, the marriage took place on the 10th of the 1st, and you state that this call was roughly 2 weeks ago.
Give or take, yes.
So by that logic, then they've been married for just over a month and a half before it all started falling apart. With that in mind, Miss Halliwell, I do understand that there has been concerns about the marriage from Mr. Brooks' side, and obviously we can get to that, and Mr. Brooks can tell his story.
Mm-hmm.
At any point since then, has he referred to my client as anything other than Mr. Sanders?
Yes.
And what would that be?
My husband.
His husband.
Yep.
So in that case, do you believe Mr. Brooks does believe that he is indeed his husband?
Well, considering you referred to him as his husband, yes.
Understood. Thank you for your
One
time.
example. Oh, you don't want an example? Okay.
No, give me an example.
Okay.
Why not?
The example was a couple days ago. We were in Eclipse, and Seth spoke to Jacob about this court case and said that, I have a court case against my husband. He wants to take 100% of my assets. He said, who's your husband? He said, Trey Sanders.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Wolfenstein, any cross-examination for the witness?
I would, yes, please, sir. Okay. So, Lauren, you claim that the marriage was a month and a half before it started. Is that correct? For the group call?
I'm not claiming when it was.
Well, you said that they had been married for several months prior to the...
I never said that out of my mouth.
You did in the questioning that Mr. K just did with you earlier. You said that they were married before that date.
Oh, yes. Yeah, married before the date, but I don't know when.
You were a witness on the marriage certificate, right?
Correct.
When was the marriage certificate created?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you when the day was.
Were you involved in the creation of said marriage certificate?
No.
Okay. But you were there when it got signed. Were you, did you get the marriage certificate signed by a registrar at the same time?
I believe it was both at the same time.
And can I ask who the registrar was on that certificate?
Oh, goodness, you're asking to skip my memory, to be honest with you. Honestly, I couldn't remember.
And did you witness my client here sign the marriage certificate?
Yes.
Okay. Or did you witness him sign a separate piece of paper?
No.
Did you assist Mr. Claude in gathering signatures for people to join his organization at a similar date to this ordeal?
No, I was not. I did not.
Oh,
I'm trying to help you. I need your signature.
Are we going on a date?
No, do not sign anything she gives you, Seth.
Okay,
Seth, do not sign anything.
It's nothing. It's a blank document.
Yeah, no.
How's that?
I've already got Harry's. I've got another officers. I've got Jay Teller's.
Yeah, no.
You've not assisted Mr. Claude in gathering any signatures at any point?
I did not ask anyone for signatures.
That's all my question.
All right. In that case, you're free to step down, Officer Halliwell. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Witnesses.
You're so brave.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Mr. Butcher to the stand if he so wishes. This was a private conversation.
Okay.
I mean, he was...
Alright, well, you just whacked my tree.
Green hairs.
Can I call that
Look like a broccoli.
I'll go sit back down then.
Well, it's not your turn.
Oh, but yeah, you just said he was up to me.
I do that.
Whack my trainee.
Well, that
Just
was
if you wanted that
witness.
Oh,
I'm a
okay,
part of
yeah,
this.
fine.
Okay, in that
Let me go
case,
right
I'm
now.
going to call Mr.
Very unprofessional. Let me go.
Okay, I'm gonna deal with it.
Alright.
Stop
it. Trini.
Come on, Mr. Sanders, it's okay.
Trini.
That's me. You mean unprofessional, officer?
No, I'm away to speak to you outside.
No, you're not. I need to stay here. I'm a witness, you idiot. I need to stay in there.
Okay. You whack my trainee one more time.
You whacked me.
I'm gonna put you in this. I'm gonna put you in this solitary confinement cell.
Okay, I understand.
Just in your opinion, Mr. Sanders, when did the marriage start to break down?
I don't know, maybe a month ago. He started yelling at me when I wouldn't do the dishes right, or maybe I'd leave food out for a little too long, and then he'd just go crazy. And then he would get his PD issued weapon, and he would point it at me and yell, and I didn't know what to do, and I got scared, and I would sit there and I don't know. And then he started to pretend like we weren't married, and it didn't make sense to me because we lived together, and I just don't know.
It's okay, Mr. Sanders, I understand it. It's a very tough time. Just take your time with it.
And then he hit me.
He hit you.
He hit me. He slapped me. He said I don't love you anymore.
Deserved.
I just don't know. And then he kicked me out of his house.
Just so the court's aware, Mr. Brooks was aware of your debt now.
Yes, it was all in our prenup. Yes.
It's all in your prenup.
And I think there's a clause that states that he has to take on my debt if we get divorced.
And that was a sum of $5 million credit card debt, correct?
Yeah.
So Mr. Brooks was well aware of the debt, still decided to marry you.
Yeah, he loved me that much, yeah.
So this hasn't been about money to the ladies and gentlemen. This has been about love.
Aww.
And I haven't been able to shower. I could barely eat. And look at me.
Smell the pasta. Do you smell that smell coming from that bloody bench that Sanders guy was just selling?
Would you say that you have
queefed in the chair?
You've done that?
I ate a Subway sandwich that was on top of a used diaper yesterday.
Oh,
Mr. Sanders, when were you first aware that Mr. Brooks was trying to, I guess, one divorce you, and two, try and have you removed from this earth?
He never tried to divorce me.
Oh, so he never brought that conversation to you?
No, he instantly went into pretending he didn't know me, and then he went into pretending I wasn't his husband, but then he started to slip up and he would call me his husband. So I mean, everyone knew he was my husband. And then
actually, I didn't know that.
And then I got a phone call from that officer.
I never knew that.
Me neither.
Can we call Mr. Brooks?
Woo, get up there, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, can you explain just in your own words how the marriage came about?
I woke up and Mr. Sanders was standing next to me, calling me honey and telling me we were married.
Okay, but I mean, it takes two to tango for a wedding, no?
Apparently not.
So in your mind, you never.
Sounds like The Hangover.
Admitted.
Could be.
Did you say I do, Mr. Brooks?
No.
You never signed anything?
Nope. I signed a piece of paper.
Okay, Emperor, we're gonna need signatures of everyone that is gonna join the cause.
Are you joining the cause of the
Got a
Empire?
notepad. Do
We
your
are
signature.
overthrowing the government tomorrow and
then
starting the first American-French Empire.
Rip the page off. Give me the notepad.
Yeah,
and your
reducing
signature.
taxes.
Signed a piece of paper. You don't know what was on that piece of paper.
It was an empty piece of paper. It was a notepad. I wrote my name on it and I tore it off and gave it to Lauren. That was in order to join Mr. Claude's organization.
Okay, and what was this organization?
I can't exactly remember.
My plan is to take over the government, decree the third French Empire because the current democracy is not working.
So, in your mind, you decide to refer to him as your husband. You decide to request to get out of the marriage, but claim that you are not married.
Like I said, he was filling all of my friends' heads with lies and spreading rumors, and I wanted to get out of said rumor.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a relationship with Mr. Sanders?
No.
Have you ever been on a date with Mr. Sanders?
No.
Have you ever been in any sort of marriage ceremony with Mr. Sanders?
No.
Have you and Mr. Sanders ever purchased any assets together?
No.
Have you and Mr. Sanders ever lived together?
No.
Have any of Mr. Sanders' assets made its way into your property?
No.
During the time of the incident, is there any possibility of a registrar being able to certify the marriage without your knowledge?
No.
Do you believe at the time you were in the right state of mind to get married?
No.
Do you believe that Mr. Sanders, Harry, and Laura were falsifying the marital documents to cause you emotional distress?
Yes.
And,
I would never.
Okay, and did Lauren give you any sort of advice about the supposed marriage?
He told me to stick with the marriage because he has money.
It's true, I did. Love always wins. That's how Trey Sander wins.
Do you see emotional distress in losing followers, or what?
Give me my phone back, bastard.
I believe that I can no longer be friends with Lauren. We were close friends. And
Hey!
The fact that she turned, you know, I believe.
Give me my
and
phone back,
did
you
have
greenhead
a-
fuck.
a-
Give me my phone. No. Oh, why is that not?
Witnesses! They're witnesses!
No.
They're witnesses!
Give me my phone back. He took my
Get
phone.
her! Get her! Get her! Get her! She assaulted
He
me.
took my phone.
people, motherfucker!
Can I bring Lauren up to the stand?
Certainly.
Shit.
Officer Halliwell, you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Of course.
Stop fucking lying. lying.
Question: do you remember being the witness on this this marriage certificate?
Yes.
And can you confirm who the other witness was?
I believe it was Mr. K.
And do you know who the registrar was on the certificate?
Negative. You've asked me that question.
On the marriage certificate, did both Mr. Brooks and Mr. Sanders, did they both sign that document?
I believe so, but not at the same time, as I recall.
And can you confirm that Mr. Brooks was on that legal document or not on a separate piece of paper?
Yes.
Can I ask why they signed it at different times if you both had to witness them signing it together?
I'm not sure. Must have been different schedules or something.
I would like to point out, Your Honour, that the witnesses claim here that they were both signed at different points, although with a marriage certificate they should be signed at the same time for it to become legal.
I don't know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So, you work within the police department, is that correct?
I do.
So, my client, Mr. Brooks here, has he had any sort of, previous bad standing with the police department? I believe he actually works with you.
He works. He does. He's a great officer, but also sometimes can be questionable when there's not much going on. You can tell that he's bored or something. He does some questionable things. Yep.
Has he at any point taken his police-issued firearm away from the department building?
Several times.
Are you able to expand on that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, when he's off duty, he has a Glock on him most of the time.
Is there any evidence surrounding that? Is there a reason he's not been charged for that?
Couldn't tell you, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
So here we have a police officer who claims that my client illegally brings his firearm off duty with him, and yet there's no sort of history or record of that.
Talking to me?
Objection.
On what grounds?
Miss Halliwell is a whiskey, wouldn't know about the internal.
But she would still have access to the. She'd still have access to the database, and if she's already just claimed that she's seen Mr. Brooks with his firearm off duty multiple times, then she would at least have some knowledge of it.
Mr. K, I'm confused about your statement there because even as a whiskey, she would be aware of the infrastructure of the command, correct?
She wouldn't know about any reports that were made against Mr. Brooks regarding a firearm.
Ah, you're talking internal affairs.
Well, it's because of the rank that I am and the rank that he is. If he gets reported, it goes to the ranks above him, not the standard officer.
Yeah, in that case, she's not going to be able to answer that question.
Nope.
So you claim that in a written testimony that your lawyer forwarded, that Mr. Brooks stated that he needed to get rid of Treyton. He was willing to pay for it. Was there any sort of transaction that you witnessed?
Get rid of trade, did you say?
Yeah, that was your own statement. That were your words.
No, I had not witnessed a transaction. It would be done by his mobile app.
You said he tried to pay someone to do it. Can you expand on that?
He tried to ask Mr. Butcher over there, and he also said it generically when we were all in the group call as well. And Jean-Claude was there as well.
There was no transfer of funds. There was no, attempt made by Mr. Butcher. There was nothing.
I can't answer that question. Again, it would have been done by a mobile app. I don't see transaction histories.
So there's a speculative that Mr. Brooks here had.
Well, it's a bit weird for Mr. Brooks to say to two criminals.
I can say anything.
Can you take him out? Get rid of him. I think your best bet is bringing up Mr. Butcher here, but if you can't, then you can't.
Since the event, as a police officer, has there been any sort of attempts on Mr. Sanders' life you're aware of?
I believe Mr. Butcher did try.
Do you have any sort of date on this? Any sort of
same date as phone call?
Same date. And that was a believe, so you're not quite sure on that.
Not entirely sure, but I believe so.
Do you remember, any sort of weapon you attempted to use, or
sniper?
Do you just not know anything about the sniper? Okay, so you believe he did, but now you know he had a sniper and he was trying to kill him.
Well, yeah, I believe that the attempt was made. I think it was unsuccessful. Is what I'm going up.
You don't remember at all getting a signature from Mr. Brooks on a notepad that you gave?
No.
Have you had any affiliation with Jean-Claude in the past?
In the past or prior after this date?
In the past.
Yeah, several times.
Yeah, can you give me a bit of detail around that?
What are you asking me to give you a scenario of when I've spoken to John?
No, a bit of detail of what you've done with him before.
Well, he's a known criminal. I've arrested him multiple times for several different things. He's always trying to start revolutions. I don't really know how else you want me to expand on Mr. Claude.
You don't remember at all hiring, well, not hiring, but asking a large group of people for signatures to give over to Jean-Claude?
Joining the cause of the Empire.
Notepad. I remember,
at any point?
what I remember is Mr. Jean-Claude was in the PD station. You were there. Harry was there. A lot of officers were there, and a couple of off-duty officers. And I believe one of the EMS directors. And Mr. John Claude started up saying that he wants to take over and overtake Mr. Ewan as mayor. John then said that he wants to get signatures in order to start a petition against Evan, whatever you say his name. At that point, which I'm sure multiple people could testify against, I did step out of the room. I went outside, came back, and pretty much all disbanded.
This marriage certificate, which you were witness on, in relation to the date of the group call, when was this marriage certificate made?
I want to say prior, but I'm not too good on dates.
Hello, Miss Halliwell.
Good afternoon, sunshine.
So, Mr. Wolfenstein mentioned the witness of a marriage certificate.
Yep. It was definitely before. However, I do not remember the specific date.
Understood. Miss Halliwell, you mentioned that there was an incident with Mr. Butcher.
Yep.
Same date as the request.
Yep.
Could you just clarify a little more?
Mr. Butcher called me up after the group call that we had, saying that Seth had asked him to take him out, keep it DL, down low. And that is when we had a shots fired of a sniper in the same location as where Mr. Sanders was. Is when Mr. Butcher came around the corner and we saw him.
Mr. Wolfenstein also mentioned the use of his PD issued Glock off duty, and you mentioned that there's been multiple instances.
Yep.
Again, while you don't have access to IA, you wouldn't know if IA had any reports, given the fact that you have the same rank.
Mm-hmm.
You also mentioned that Mr. Brooks can act out when he's bored. Could you just give some instances?
Sure. Last night, we're dealing with a case with some gangs and stuff. We're down at the docks. He decides to hit me several times with his car and then grapple my vehicle so I couldn't get into it. Oh, what a rat. That's happened on multiple occasions where he's grappled my car because he's bored.
All right, you can sit down, Officer Halliwell. Harry, Mr. Wolfenstein, since there's two of you here. Any other evidence or witnesses you wish to bring forth at this point?
I have a question. Bear in mind that Lauren couldn't give any information on it. Am I able to bring Mr. K up to the stand?
Mr. K, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
I'm surprised. None of us have even heard of this wedding. Was there any guests?
No, it was quite a small ceremony, from what I remember.
And do you remember there being any sort of registrar, not sorry, any sort of registrar, any sort of official from the church?
I have a Twitter post congratulating Seth and Trey.
Oh shit.
Shut up.
Mr. K, what is your client looking for in terms of assets from this divorce?
Just fair compensation, Your Honor. He's been traumatized. He's been left homeless. He's looking for fair compensation in court eyes.
And Mr. Wolfenstein, what is your client looking for from this divorce?
Recuperation for lawyer fees as well as the emotional distress caused by Mr. Sanders in terms of losing fellows, and also emotional distress caused by the court case and the public nature of it.
As such, I will make an order to the registrar's office to ensure that any false documentation is destroyed, therefore annulling any sort of illegal matrimony that may have happened. So Mr. Brooks, you will be freed from that. In addition, I am going to have Mr. Sanders pay for Mr. Wolfenstein's fees, their legal fees. Obviously, you'll have to work on getting those taken from him yourself. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and award that to Mr. Brooks.
Hey, I've got one question, David.
Seth, come here. Yes, Ralph.
Quick,
What
go
do you
over there.
It's too late now, but he did offer me to kill him. He did say he'd give me 20 grand to kill him, and I did try and kill him.
That's a criminal issue, not a thing for this.
You don't know.
Seth for PD suspension. Corruption. I lied throughout a lot of that.
I'm gonna award you 10 grand on that.
So what do we do now?
Oh no, it'd been
We just
nice.
completely lied.
It'd be nice if Mr. Sanders provided the documentation beforehand.
Did he not?
No, you only give me it like then.
Fuck's sake. Wait, could you not have submitted it to David then and there?
No, you've got to do it beforehand.
Really?
It's called a discovery stage. Yeah.
Oh, we weren't witnesses to anything.
No one can prove anything. It's fine.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm hoping.
If anyone claims anything, we claim Sanders took
Took us hostage
Seth
to
from
something.
the location.
Yes,
No, he took
that.
Seth from the location, took him up to Grapeseed. We just thought that he was really drunk.
Yeah. Because I was thinking it's more of like a hangover type of thing. Got married, didn't know how, where, what, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But